Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my trending series. On this episode, I just want to talk about something cool that's kind of happening that I'm noticing with my friends and also with inspiration from the runway shows is kind of the return of vintage. Now, I don't know if it has to do with grunge kind of being back in style for the last couple years and my love for the Gucci runway, which completely can be reinterpreted through vintage and thrift store clothes, specifically vintage clothes, and same with Saint Laurent menswear, which has been, and Saint Laurent last couple seasons, which, and even the women's wear, men's and women's, you can really create at a great vintage store. So I think this is something interesting happening. I also love like the new brands coming out like Redone, where you have a classic Levi's jeans that's being recut into a more modern shape, more like complementary shape for how girls want to wear their jeans right now, but it is kind of this recycled vintage denim concept. Now, I've always been a big fan just because I grew up with no money and I was always on the budget when I was younger to go shopping. So I was always at the vintage and thrift stores. Now, to me, what I've noticed with thrift stores is that thrift stores become so picked over because there's so many people doing great vintage stores and they're going and picking ahead of time, and people are selling their more kind of trendy cool items to places like Buffalo Exchange or Wasteland in LA, or on consignment in consignment stores like Buffalo Exchange, blah blah blah. So I find it easier to go to a real vintage store. Now in LA, I love Jet Rag. They have great prices. I got this there for $15. They just have everything at Jet Rag is really well priced, and they have an incredible selection when you're looking for classic Americana style pieces, jackets, motorcycle jackets, friend jackets, Letterman jackets, flannels, cowboy shirts, Hawaiian shirts, sweatshirts, anything classic kind of Americana sportswear, they have it at Jet Rag. If you want a little bit more of expensive but a little bit even better curated and smaller selection to look through, it's American Rag, which is on La Brea. And I'll put links to all these below. In New York, I love Screaming Mimi's, again for more sportswear, t-shirts, jeans, jackets, things like that. Great dresses. I also love Amicord. Amicord's incredible. What comes around goes around is really good if you have more of a budget. They have designer, but they also have great vintage denim and sweatshirts and jackets and t-shirts and that kind of thing too. Again, a little more expensive. And then I just discovered this amazing, it's a motorcycle company based out of Canada by girl, done by women and for women. And they do incredible vintage motorcycle gear, like vests, denim, t-shirts, and I am obsessed with their vintage collection. It's so incredible, and they ship to America, so I'll put that below. It's called Born a Bad Seed. Love it. But I just noticed this kind of return with me and all my friends. Oh, and I also love the Pistol Club, based in Venice. That's Shelly over there is amazing. I'll put her link to her Instagram below, and she is on Abbot Kinney, kind of tucked away on Abbot Kinney, just near Venice Boulevard. But she has an incredible curation of some of the coolest stuff. I've been spending a lot of money there. But I've just been noticed with my friends, we've been kind of having a return to wanting to wear vintage clothes, wanting to wear authentic vintage clothes instead of maybe going and buying the designer version that's been coming down the runway. Maybe we buy a couple designer pieces, but we've really been supplementing a lot of our wardrobe with real vintage. So I just wanted to kind of draw that to your attention. If you're designing, if you're if you're buying, maybe consider bringing in a vintage selection in your store, or if you're just shopping for your own wardrobe, just think about the vintage store again and just look for things that are kind of coming down the runway. It's really easy to do. Like, I always love Isabel Marant because it's like classic Americana. And again, those collections that she does, they're great pieces that you want to buy just because they're special from her, but they're also great pieces you can go and get at the thrift store. Great sweatshirts, t-shirts, denim, jackets, men's style jackets, and shirts. So go shop vintage. It's also good for recycling and reusing. It's good for the eco footprint. There's less garbage that way. It's not going into a landfill, which we like. I like supporting the vintage business, and yeah, but just it's something I've been noticing, so I wanted to do a trending thing on it. That's this. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You can see my vintage purchases there all the time, and that's at Sally Lyndley. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you want more trending series. Okay, big kiss, guys. Mwah!